Alhamdulillah, we finished Surah Ali Imran, and tonight we're going to start Surah An-Nisa and finish, inshallah. We're not going to quite finish, but do quite the majority of it. And I want all of us to kind of reset, because we've been at this for a couple of nights now, and we might start getting into the routine again, getting into our old thing. This starts to feel like the new normal. And what I want us to do tonight, right now, every single one of us, before Taraweeh, when you go home, when you read the Quran, and what I would encourage everyone to do is whatever we read up here, it's not a secret. It's out on the community chat. You can get added to it if you're not. Whatever we read is already there. So I would encourage everybody to go and actually read the translation before you show up, and you'll have a much more fruitful experience, inshallah. But what I want everybody to do, including myself, is in your head, tell yourself that this Quran is talking to me. That when I hear this being recited, when I hear it in Taraweeh, when I'm reading it at home, it's talking to me. And sometimes you have to tell yourself that, because one of the tricks of the shaitan, and of course in this month the shaitan isn't there, but the tricks of the nafs is when you hear something from the Quran, you tell yourself, oh, this isn't talking about me, I can leave it alone. Right? And if you have children, like when I have kids, and I ask them to do something that they don't want to do, what do they say? Oh, I didn't know you were talking to me. It's a very easy way to absolve yourself. But I want us all to reset and tell ourselves that this Quran is talking to me. And with that, we start with the very first ayah, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that we're going to hear today, Ya ayyuhan nas, ittaqu rabbakum alladhi khalaqakum min nafsin wahida. Now this ayah, the very first ayah of Surah An-Nisa, most of us here probably already have it memorized without ever actually trying, because you hear it every single Friday in Jumu'ah. You hear it in every single khutbah, the very first ayah that we're going to recite today. And the part I wanted to focus on is this ayah ends, وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ الَّذِي تَسَاءَلُونَ بِهِ وَالْأَرْحَامِ. That be mindful of Allah, وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهِ. And we hear that over and over throughout the Quran, but it ends with وَالْأَرْحَامِ. And be mindful, be protective, be very careful about the ties of kinship, the ties of the womb. And think about it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in that same sentence, وَاتَّقُوا, and He attaches the ties of the womb to it. And now as I'm saying this, what am I talking about? I'm talking about our relationship with our brothers, with our sisters. How are they? And as I say this already in my head, and maybe in your heads, what are you already thinking? Oh, but you don't know my brother, he did this and this. You don't know my sister, she did this. That it doesn't talking to me. But what we said in the beginning is the Quran is talking to me. It's talking to you. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala started the verse, Ya ayyuhan nas, O mankind. No exceptions. So whenever you find yourself thinking that, no, my situation is different, this is talking especially to you. And this Ramadan, it begs us to question ourselves. How is the state of our relationships with the ones that we shared the womb with our siblings, with our family members? A lot of the times our family members, brothers don't talk to each other in ages, or even if they do, it's superficial. Siblings, cousins, uncles, aunts, are we taking care of those relationships? And if we're not, let this Ramadan be the time when we finally, regardless of who's right and who's wrong, just tell yourself that this ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling me to be careful of this. I'm going to be asked about this. It doesn't matter who's right, it doesn't matter who's wrong. But if I sever the ties with my brother, if I sever the ties with my sister, then I will be asked about that. Make this the Ramadan where you pick up the phone and give that call, where you let bygones be bygones. Move on from whatever petty differences that you've had in the past. If for nothing else, just for this ayah, because the Quran is talking to you. And the surah continues with a lot of technicalities. It goes into the technicalities of inheritance, the technicalities of marriage, who you can marry, who you can't marry, and it even goes into some of the technicalities of business transactions. But right in the middle there, beautifully, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is explaining all these rulings, He says, يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ أَن يُخَفِّفَ عَنْكُمْ. In the middle of all these rulings, Allah has another ayah where He says, Allah wants to lighten the burden from you. So just when you're hearing all these rules, first you hear, oh man, I got to now make up with my brother I haven't talked to in so long. Now all these rules of what I can do and what I can't do. As soon as it starts seeming like a lot, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ أَن يُخَفِّفَ عَنْكُمْ, that Allah wants to lighten the burden from you. And the lesson there is all these rules that we have in our religion that often seem like it's a lot to do. It seems like it's a lot. So other religions that they don't take their things so seriously, it doesn't seem like it's that hard. And the reality is it's not. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us that all of these regulations, everything that I'm telling you to do is to lighten from you. And then he ends that ayah, وَخُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ ضَعِيفًا. And indeed, mankind was created very weak. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created you, He's telling you, you were created weak. And that is why you need these rules and regulations. So what does that tell us? That if you deviate from these practices, if you keep these grudges with your family members, if you do all these things Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling you not to do, your life will inevitably be more complicated and be more burdensome than if you were just to stick to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the first place. And if you look back at your life at times when you may have gone wrong, you'll probably reach that conclusion, that if I had just followed the way of Allah and His Messenger, my life would have probably been better off. I wouldn't have so much stress right now. يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ أَن يُخَفِّفَ عَنْكُمْ. As we move on, the surah continues. A couple of more ayat, and again I want us to bring us back to that first point, that the Quran is talking to us. The Quran is talking to me, it's talking to you. And when you accept that, sometimes it makes us very uncomfortable if you're reading the Quran the correct way. And it should make us uncomfortable. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran never hesitates to call us out. And especially in the times we're living in right now, there are ayat of the Quran that should make you shake, that should make you ask for forgiveness. And we'll probably end up finishing with this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَا لَكُمْ لَا تُقَاتِلُونَ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ وَالْمُسْتَضْعَفِينَ مِنَ الرِّجَالِ وَالنِّسَاءِ وَالْوِلْدَانِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that there are oppressed people, from the men, from the women, from the children, الَّذِينَ يَقُولُونَ رَبَّنَا, that these people are crying out. And you don't need to use your imagination nowadays. Just open up your phone and start scrolling. And these people are saying, الَّذِينَ يَقُولُونَ رَبَّنَا أخرجنا من هذه القرية الظالم أهلها. These people are crying out, women, children, men, that, oh Lord, save us from these oppressive people. وَاجْعَلْ لَنَا مِن لَّدُنْكَ وَلِيًّا وَاجْعَلْ لَنَا مِن لَّدُنْكَ نَصِيرًا. And make us from you somebody that will come and protect us from this. People screaming this out. And this isn't figurative anymore. We see this now. As soon as you open up the news, as soon as you open up your phones. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَا لَكُمْ, literally, what is wrong with you? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking us, وَمَا لَكُمْ, what is wrong with you? That this is going on and you're not doing anything. He's talking to me and you. And when we hear this, it should shake us. And if it doesn't shake us, then we have much bigger problems. And it has to beg the question that what are we doing? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us. And to end, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala along the same line, He says, لا يستوي القاعدون من المؤمنين غير أولي الدرجة. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala breaks us down into two categories, the qa'idin and then the mujahiduna fi sabilillah bi'amwalihim وأنفسهم, the people that sit around and do nothing and the people that actually do something. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that He prefers that there's good, وَكُلَّ وَعَدَ اللَّهُ الْحُسْنَى, that there's good in both. وَفَضَّلَ اللَّهُ الْمُجَاهِدِينَ عَلَى الْقَاعِدِينَ أَجْرًا عَظِيمًا. But Allah prefers the ones that actually get up and do something. And I want us to think about this on a communal level. You may sit here and there's the volunteers, there's people that are making things happen. It's very easy to sit and do nothing on a communal level, on a global level. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that one group is clearly favored by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the message for this isn't so that you feel superior. The message is to get up and do something. Whether it's in your community, in this masjid, another masjid, whether it's globally, just get up and do something. Don't just be qa'ideen, don't just be of those who sit and do nothing at all and wait for something to happen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us understanding of the Quran and allow us to practice what's been said. Subhanakallah wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.